Good afternoon, all of you, and my greetings to you all on this great day. First, two things. One, I did invite the attention of the Honorable Minister to the last line. The time schedule has to be adhered. In the process, I was indicating that Chairman Rajya Sabha has the prerogative and right to relax it. And it was a befitting case of relaxation. Number two, me and the Honorable Minister were engrossed when there was thunderous applause in the theatre. We missed the point. I must acknowledge the gracious presence of my wife, Dr. Sudesh Dhankad. She wrote a chit and gave me what it was all about. I am therefore grateful to the learned Vice Chancellor for having invited her in her own capacity. Like a brilliant Vice Chancellor and academician, she could see that I would falter on occasions and there must be backup. Honorable Sri Dharmendra Pradhan Ji, Education Minister, Government of India, a man of action, a man of vision, a man who is good at both planning and execution. I know him for long. I am trying to find out his eating habits that keep him active the day around. Professor Nazma Akhtar, the Honorable Vice Chancellor, a picture of elegance and sublimity. And when I had the occasion to interact with her for the first time, I found she has no packaging, only performance. And that is reflected all around. Nothing can be achieved by a great institution unless the faculty contributes. Hats off to the faculty for doing all they have done all. We have in the audience very distinguished members, and pardon me, I'll be missing the names of some of them. If I take names of some and refer to them, it is on account of having been enlightened by them in my performance of duties in legal profession and while being governor and presently the vice president of the country. Sri Najib Jang, a man of his spinal strength, and all his former fellow vice chancellors who are present here. Being vice president of India is a soothing aspect, but he carries another hat also, and that is Chairman Rajya Sabha, a formidable task. I must therefore recognize presence of Javed Ali Khan, enormously talented member of Rajya Sabha. Dharmendra Ji, in his wisdom, rightly gave precedence to another distinguished honorable member of Parliament from Lok Sabha, Danish Ali. Friends, we have in the audience a distinguished legal luminary, senior advocate from one of the most prestigious institutes in this country, Shri Vikram Banerjee, presently Additional Solicitor General. Excellencies, distinguished guests, and my dear students. It's a moment for me and my wife to ever cherish. It does not happen every other day. Convocations do take place, but a convocation of this nature, centenary convocation, comes in the life of someone very rarely. maybe providentially. I'm extremely delighted to be amidst you all on this momentous occasion of the centenary year convocation of Jamia, Millia, Islamia, JMI, one of the leading universities in the country. I extend my heartiest congratulations to all who have been awarded degrees, graduating students, faculty members and staff for securing this milestone development for the university. Dear students, as graduates from this prestigious institution of learning, ever remember and never forget it. If you forget it, you will impeding your own progress. You owe your success, of course, to your diligence, to your hard work, but principally to your teachers, your parents, and your well-wishers. You have earned your degrees, but that does not mean there has to be quietus to learning or knowledge acquiring. You have to carefully cultivate this knowledge to harvest the wisdom. Enough has been said about the accomplishments of JMI. These are extraordinary accomplishments. This is an occasion to recognize the contribution of this institution and its illustrious alumni in national life. I take the opportunity to congratulate the Vice Chancellor, Professor Nazma Akhtar, recipient of the prestigious Padma Award in 2022 for her contributions, turning around contributions for JMI. In a record of sorts, making of history, she is the first woman Vice Chancellor of Jamia in its 100-year history. She would be an inspirational model for her gender all over. It is not statistics that Jamia is ranked among the 3 top universities of the country in the National Institutional Ranking Framework rankings. Much has gone behind it. Much effort has gone. Even in a river when you stand, to be at the same place, you have to keep on moving your feet. This is a repeat performance. I congratulate the Vice Chancellor, the faculty, and the students. Friends, the university has built academic and research alliances with universities and research institutions across the world. These are the times when we need to be in sync with similar institutions, when we need to be in synergetic mode so that there is enhancement of capacities of knowledge earning. It welcomes foreign students from more than 25 countries. Friends, I happen to be chairman of Indian Council of World Affairs. Indian Council of World Affairs will have an MOU with this prestigious institution, and I am sure that will help both the institutions. This will fructify before our Independence Day. When I look at the alumni of this great institution, it is difficult to take names. We have had pillars of strength, right from the top constitutional office down the line. But I would make one submission for consideration of everyone here. Alumni associations are great strength to ensure that every institute is on incremental trajectory. The growth will be geometrical once the alumni take it upon themselves. And therefore, the alumni of the institute must be always in proactive mode. As a matter of fact, there can't be a more involved think tank of development of an institution or a nation than the kind of people that constitute alumni of various institutions. Education is important, but something is more important, and that is link education to larger societal growth. The empowerment of human resource is a vital ingredient in nation building. The youth have to empower themselves, and I'm extremely concerned, therefore I'm putting it for your consideration. The youth have to empower themselves not by political intoxication, but through the mechanism of capacity building and personality development with the ultimate objective of nurturing a healthy environment and society. Honorable Minister rightly indicated that National Education Policy 2020, and it was a pleasant coincidence. It was on attainment of your centenary. But this has been a game changer. It provides greater flexibility to our young minds and brings the joy of learning back in education by emphasizing on innovation and skill development. The latter two are also in the domain of the Honorable Minister who handles these portfolios as well. I can tell you, friends, national education policy was evolved after 3 decades in this country, after considering inputs from all the stakeholders, and this was the need for Bharat, home to 1/6 of humanity. This will catalyze into a big change. I find that in some parts of the country there is a requirement of adopting this policy. I am sure they will fall in line, reap the harvest and advantages of this great policy, because it is based on skill-based courses, vocational training, and giving a new dimension to our educational learning. Friends, it is crucial for students to become innovators, entrepreneurs, to establish their own startups, so that in this Amrit Kal, our capable students emulate, I'm emphasizing emulate, young entrepreneurs who have increasingly emerged in this country as not job seekers, but job providers. And our record in this field, the number of unicorns we have, the number of startups we have, is a ground reality acknowledged by the world. I call upon my young friends to fully subscribe and immerse themselves in economic nationalism with all their energy and enthusiasm. Economic nationalism is a matter which must catch our attention in present times, as the world has become too small for everything, and because of technology and connectivity. Friends, there can be no doubt, it is certainly not in national interest to compromise economic nationalism for fiscal gain. Those who are in business, industry, trade have to believe in the essence of economic nationalism and do not tilt and compromise it merely because there is an opportunity of only fiscal gain. Our country is a democracy, oldest and largest on the planet, most functional. We need to be fully aware that political and economic stakeholding cannot, should not be at the cost of economic nationalism, nation and nationalism. We have to take pride in our epochal, historic achievements, accomplishments, our rise that is recognized by the world. We have to always keep our nation first. My young friends who have got degrees, you will be stepping into your careers of choice. These are promising times. Accomplishments registered by nation make us all proud. We are proud Indians. We have to take pride in our nation and achievements. India is on the rise as never before, and the rise of the country is unstoppable. The upward growth trajectory of Bharat, home to 1/6 of humanity, will be ever on upsurge mode because of the contributions of young minds and our youth. The Indian economy has proven to be remarkably resilient in the face of challenging global situations due to strong macroeconomic fundamentals that place it ahead of other emerging economies in the world. Friends, you will be happy to note that while India a decade ago was the 11th largest economy, in September 2020, last year, we had a milestone achievement and we became the 5th largest economy on the planet. And in the process, we overtook our erstwhile colonial masters. By all indications, India will be the 3rd largest economy by turn of the decade. And with my young friends, the degree holders for the day, and like many of you in other institutions, you being warriors of 2047, you will determine what Bharat will be at 2047. And I have no doubt, with your commitment, direction, dedication, India will be at the peak in 2047. Friends, the world is stunned. It could have never imagined, and frankly, my generation could have never dreamed, the kind of digital revolution which the world is seeing in this country, the largest democracy that is so diversified. And what is the impact? Inefficiency and corruption has been rooted out. Governance has taken a new turn. The new norm is transparency and accountability. In 2022, to give you an illustration, and amongst many such instances, India registered digital payment transactions amounting to 1.5 trillion US dollars. That was the figure. But if we see it in comparable situations, this transaction is more than 4 times the combined transactions in US, UK, Germany and France. Just imagine what kind of achievement has been there. In the process, I would call upon all of you to reflect and introspect. It's a Herculean task. It is not one-way traffic. It has to be both ways, which means every Indian in the village, semi-urban areas has equipped himself technologically to be recipient and to engage in such transactions. It's a big achievement. My generation never dreamt of it, and the world is recognizing it. Another milestone: out of hundreds of transactions in the world, 46 are from our country. Those senior people sitting before me know how power corridors were infested, how work was leveraged, what was the role of middlemen. Now, thanks to governance policies and initiatives, thanks to focus on transparency and accountability, our power corridors have been sanitized of brokers who extra-legally leveraged governance to secure decisions and judgments. Gone are the days. As a matter of fact, they have been consigned to the dustbin of history with no hope of revival. IMF, an acknowledged body, recognized our digital development. I quote what it said: world-class digital public infrastructure serving as a model for other nations undergoing digital transformation. Another instance that will make all of us very proud. And that is as a result of contribution by all segments of the society, and thanks to effective governance policies and initiatives and vision of the Honorable Prime Minister. India has over 850 million smartphones. They are internet users. We Indians have amazing capacity to become eklavya and learn skills without formal tutoring. And the result of this is the per capita mobile data consumption last year exceeded consumption of China and the USA taken together. Friends, I was elected to Parliament for the first time in 1989, and I was a Union Minister. I am fully aware of the situation that existed then. The nation has transformed itself from being amongst the fragile five economies to being the top 5 economies in the world. Traversing from fragile 5 to top 5 is on account of vision of the Honorable Prime Minister being executed with the efforts of all. This is a proud moment for all of us to share. Look around the globe and you'll find India is the favorite destination of investment and opportunity. Everyone agrees about it. Wherever you go in the world, you'll find being an Indian, being holder of Indian passport now has a different meaning. It has a magic meaning. People would love to interact with you. This big historic change has come about because growth of India has been propelled by concern of the man in the last line. Efforts have been made successfully to ensure the village has that technological empowerment as the metro. And that's a ground reality. India is in glorious moment of history. Our phenomenal, unprecedented, and rise is a defining moment of this century. This century belongs to India. And it's already being felt. And when India rises, there will be global harmony, global peace, global stability. No country can boast of civilizational ethos of thousands of years. Our cultural diversity, our cultural wealth is unrivaled on a global horizon. Recently, in last decade, series of systemic reforms and affirmative governance measures have been taken to ensure there is exponential growth in infrastructure. I need not tell this audience, you have seen it on the ground. We used to look around earlier, highways in that country, development in that country. Now we look in our country. Others look at us. Those who used to advise us on development at a point of time are seeking our advice. This is a welcome change, thanks to the leadership and our people. Entire world is eager to partner with India. Could you ever imagine the kind of visit, the success of it, which the Honorable Prime Minister had in the United States, in France, in UAE, in last 2 weeks, how impactful it was, and his address to Congress and Senate in the US was that of a global statesman. Our Prime Minister is reckoned as a global statesman whose voice is always for sanity and welfare of humanity. It was he who said, we are not living in an era of expansion, a historic declaration by India's Prime Minister. And with respect to an issue going recently, for a year or so, he made no declaration except war is no solution to a problem. Dialogue and diplomacy alone have to secure it. India's relevance in global resolution of issues was never so prominent as it is today. But friends, when India grows, when you avail opportunities, when you make impact all around, there are challenges also. Your progress can't be to the like of everyone. There are pernicious forces with sinister design to taint, tarnish, and demean your institutions, your growth. Unfortunately, some of them are amongst us. I appeal to young minds to take initiatives and neutralize these forces by your actions. I have no doubt you all will do it. When the present norm and governance mechanism is transparency and accountability, where corruption has no place. That being so, stakeholders in corruption have converged into a group. They are marshalling all forces to find cover and escape. We owe to the nation, all of us, each one of us, particularly the youth. Corruption means your growth impeded. Corruption means your opportunities curtailed. Corruption means patronage taking main stage, all antithetical to equitable growth and equal opportunities. We owe to the nation to ensure there is no dilution of zero tolerance for corruption. It is soothing to note that all escape routes of violators of law, whomsoever they may be, no one can claim to be above law. Whatever lineage you have, whatever position you may have, you are accountable to law because we are a democracy run by law. Violators of law engaged in corruption, all avenues have been largely plugged. But it is concerning then when judicial process is set in motion, when law is taking its own course, why should those feeling the heat of law take to streets? It is for you all to think. We have a robust mechanism of redressal of grievance in judicial system. If someone suffers a notice from court, from an agency, the only way open in any democracy is to take recourse to lawful means. Certainly not to take to streets. Street demonstration to challenge the rule of law is not hallmark of a good governance or a democracy of our nature. I am sure young minds will focus on it, do all they can do in what is in their might to see that these forces are discouraged. Friends, vision and execution of Prime Minister, be in the field of infrastructure or infusion of technology, has been at unprecedented speed and scale. I'll tell you, the new Parliament building, less than 2.5 years. Now people think a building has come up. I can tell you much more than that has come up. Everything inside. So many factors were taken into consideration. The best of technology. You could never have imagined that this could be attained in such a short period, at a time when, along with the world, we were also facing pandemic COVID. Friends, you all are feeling the positive impact of it as a consequence of series of governmental policies and initiatives. We have an ecosystem in place now that allows every young mind to unleash his or her energy, to channelize that, to exploit potential and talent, and to realize their dreams and aspirations. During our time, we didn't have that ecosystem. We have to struggle largely. But now if you have an idea, the system helps you enormously, something which we could not have thought of. As warriors of 2047, I am addressing my young friends. I urge you all, young minds, dedicate yourself to find novel solutions to challenges facing our country. You must draw upon insights instilled by your alma mater and utilize them to contribute towards nation building. It was emphasized by the Honorable Vice Chancellor, the importance of education. I would invite a reflection by Father of the Nation, Mahatma Gandhi, what he said. I quote, "Education should be so revolutionized as to answer the wants of the poorest villager," unquote. I think this is the ultimate test. And that is exactly what is happening. Where in every house you have electricity, every house has a gas connection, every house has a null connection. That is being accomplished. The dream of Mahatma Gandhi is being realized when India is in its present calm. As citizen of the largest democracy, home to 1/6 of humanity, it is duty of every citizen, especially the youth, to ensure that our country's natural resources, whether water, petroleum, minerals, they are optimally utilized for development and economic activities. Now I wonder myself, and I am sure you will share my concern, how can use of these resources be determined by your pocket? Your pocket can determine what kind of house you have, what kind of furniture you have. But when it comes to utilization of these resources, natural resources, all of us are trustees of those resources. There has to be equitable distribution of them. And therefore, let us have a culture that utilization of natural resources will be optimal as per your need, not certainly as per your financial capacity. Friends, this is a great university. It's on the rise. I would therefore invite your attention that in similar theatres outside this country, they have become breeding grounds to set afoot anti-India narrative on untenable grounds. In the process, they use our students, our faculty members. This cannot be allowed. I'm not saying you be blind in approving every governmental action. Be discreet, be judgmental, be inquisitive, focus on objectivity, and then deal with such situations. It is surprising that those who have had the occasion to serve this country in one position or the other, the moment they lose their position, they turn Nelson's eye to the great advancement which our country is making all around. I am sure young minds will take note of this, take proactive steps, and Jamia is the right place where impressionable young minds will catalyze an ecosystem where such anti-national narratives in the country or abroad will not only be neutralized but decimated. Such misinformation cannot be allowed to be traded. Friends, today's convocation is indeed a moment of great pride and satisfaction for you, your families, and Jamia Millia Islamia, the institution that nurtured you throughout your academic journey. Today, you will become part of prestigious alumni, some of whom are present here. With this honor comes a tremendous responsibility. As you step out in the world to make your mark, you carry a tag, and you carry a tag of being a degree holder from an institution that is more than a century old. You have a promising career, promising future, but do not get into the canal mode. I often say, a canal is drawn on a paper. Be like a river. Meander, choose your own path. act as per our inclinations and aptitude. Never allow to be dictated when it comes to your idea. Never have the fear of failure. The moment you have fear of the failure, you will not be intrepid or enterprising. And that the nation cannot afford, that our young people are so impeded in their action mode. If you have an idea, I beseech you, I call upon you, please act on it. And trust me, no one has succeeded with an idea in the first instance. An attempt was made to land on the moon, but was it successful in the first instance? And that happens with number of historic developments that have really catered to the needs of humanity as never before. I would invite your attention to what Maulana Abul Kalam Azad and what he said, I quote, "To succeed in your mission," and mind you, he was a man of action. He was involved with ISRO. He had his failures. He has reflected on them. If youngsters would look at his failures in ISRO, the failures were success in future, a stepping stone to success that made him what he is remembered for. I quote, "To succeed in your mission, you must have single-minded devotion to your goal," unquote. As mentioned by him on another occasion, I again quote, "Great dreams of great dreamers are always transcended. But those who only dream, have good idea in their mind, allow their mind to be a parking space for dreams, ideas, are not impactful in history." You have to be impactful, all of you, till the end, and all like you. We must always remember, and a distinction that is unique to us, we are the largest, oldest democracy that is functional at all levels. I'll tell you, no country in the world can take pride that it has a structured constitutional democracy of the kind we have. Our constitution provides for democracy at the village level, constitution. At the panchayat level, panchayat samiti level, Jilla Parishad level, and of course we have at the state level and the central level. Core democracy values are deeply embedded in our civilizational ethos. They always guide us. And that is why under the Indian presidency of G20, the motto is one earth, one family, one future. And we demonstrated it. When the world was witnessing pandemic, we had COVID Maitri, taking care of our 1.3 billion people. We were also helping several other countries with co-vaccine. That justifies and vindicates the motto that is there. Friends, a concern I must share with you. The elite intelligentsia is present here. Young minds are present here. Some from Parliament are also here. What is democracy? Democracy is all about dialogue, discussion, deliberation, and debate to secure public good. Surely democracy can't be disturbance. It can't be disruption. Disruption and disturbance are antithetical to a sense of democratic values. I am pained, anguished to indicate to you all that disturbance and disruption have been weaponized as a strategic means to taint the temples of democracy that should be functional 24/7 to secure justice for the people at large. There can be no alibi for not making Parliament functional every second. People of this country are paying huge price for it. But I am not on the financial implication of it. I am on the larger issue. When there is disruption in Parliament on a particular day, there can't be cushion hour. Question hour is a mechanism to generate accountability and transparency in governance. The government is obligated to respond to every question and to the supplementaries that are raised. This goes to enormous benefit of governance. Everyone is on track. Not having a question hour can never be rationalized when you think in terms of democratic values and good governance. दोस्तों, आज के हालात कितने विचित्र हो गए। असहमति को, जो स्वाभाविक है, आवश्यक नहीं है कि हमारी बात पर सहमत हों। हम असहमत हो सकते हैं, अलग अलग विचार हो सकते हैं, पर असहमति को विरोध में बदलना जनतंत्र के लिए अभिशाप से कम नहीं है। भारतीय संस्कृति और सभ्यता की मूल भावना से मेल नहीं खाता है। असहमति करो, इसको विरोध मत मानो। संवाद की डोर मानवता और प्रजातंत्र के जीवन की डोर है। If you cut off communication, whether in the family or society, and of course, it has draconian consequences if such disconnect is there in temples of democracy. इसमें खिंचाव और गांठ जन कल्याण के लिए हितकारी नहीं हो सकते। एक छत के नीचे विरोध और असहमति स्वाभाविक है। विरोध का प्रतिशोध में बदलना प्रजातंत्र के लिए हितकारी नहीं है। इसका एक ही निदान है, डायलॉग, एक ही निदान है, विचार विमर्श। I am sure it is obligation for every citizen of the largest democracy to generate an ecosystem. Your voice matters more than anything else. You are the greatest stakeholders in growth of this country and blossoming of democracy. प्रजातंत्र में प्रतिघात का कोई स्थान नहीं है। यही हमारी हजारों साल की संस्कृति और अमृत है। Friends, I would conclude. I leave you with a thought, and that thought was imparted to the nation by architect of Indian Constitution, Dr. Ambedkar. And that was when he was addressing the Constituent Assembly on the last day. His concluding address to the Constituent Assembly on 25th November 1949, and what he said, and never forget what he said. I would not say more. I would only quote him. Quote, "It is not that India was never an independent country. The point is that she once lost the independence. We were independent earlier. We lost independence. She had. We lost independence." He continues, "Will she lose it a second time? What perturbs me greatly is the fact that not only India has once before lost its independence, but she lost it how? According to Dr. Ambedkar, she lost it by the infidelity and treachery of some of her own people." Unquote. We cannot allow this to happen. We have to be truthful to our founding fathers. We have to believe in the nation. We cannot have any other culture except to put the nation always ahead of anything else. And this is not optional. This is not imperative. This is the only way to ensure our democracy blossoms and prospers. Friends, I compliment all the graduating students, their teachers and parents. May GMI continue to scale greater heights in the years to come. I have no doubt it will keep on rising higher and higher. And the medical college, and the hospital would sure be of the highest benchmark on a global horizon. Jai Hind.